Hi everyone, a really warm welcome to everyone joining us this morning for our student live session. So we are all going to be here for the next hour to chat through what studying looks like at the University of Glasgow from a student perspective. So I'm joined here today by a lovely panel who will be covering topics such as clubs and societies, accommodation, and top tips for making the most of your student experience. If you are watching this live on our website, you can also ask us questions through the text chat, and colleagues behind the scenes will do their best to answer those questions for you. So now, obviously, just to quickly introduce myself, my name is Alice and I work in external relations. And I'm just joined here, obviously, by our lovely panel today. So if I could just take each of the panel members, just introduce yourselves now.
So start by me.
Sorry, I should have said.
Okay. Hello everybody. Intan Destia Helmi. Just call me Intan, by the way. It's Diamond actually in Indonesia. I'm from Indonesia and currently pursuing master degree at Media Communication and International Journalism. Very nice to know you.
Perfect. Thank you, Intan. Melody, I'll come to you next.
Hi everyone, my name is Melody. I am Nigerian, so I came to the University of Glasgow from Nigeria, and I am currently studying a Master of Public Health degree.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Melody. And Rohit, last but not least.
Thanks for the opportunity, Alice. And hello, everyone out there. My name is Rohit. I'm a computing science postgrad studying in University of Glasgow since for 2023. And as you can see from the background, I'm from India.
Thanks, Rohit. So yes, as you can see at Glasgow, we really have a very diverse student body with international students joining us from all across the world. So can you tell us a little bit more what it's like to move to Scotland and come and settle in Scotland as well? Melody, I'll come to you first if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I would say moving to Scotland and moving to University of Glasgow is exciting. It was very exciting for me. Just like you watching right now, I attended many of these sessions, just so that I can get a feel of what it was going to be like coming here. And honestly, it's been amazing. I made an intentional decision to move to Glasgow because I fell in love with University of Glasgow, the structure, the environments, the modules, and all the good things I was hearing about it from sessions like this. So I would say it's been an amazing journey and very exciting moving to a beautiful place just like this. So yeah, I'd say that.
That's lovely to hear, Melody. Rohit, how has your experience been to move to Scotland and come and settle here?
For me, it was a bit smooth. A big thanks to my maternal uncle, Mr. Arun Kumar Pandey, who has been through thick and thins. He literally made every process way too easy for me. Uh, though it was like my first time to step out from my comfort zone, uh, I expected it like it would take a month or so for me to settle down. But a big thanks to the people out here, the Glaswegians. Like they are so welcoming, they're so friendly. So I would say that it hardly took me a week to settle down, and yeah, I was good to go then.
That's perfect, Rohit. It's nice. It's nice that you kind of immediately got settled. I mean, even a month seems quickly, but to be even quicker than that is fantastic to hear. Inat, how did you find it coming to Scotland? Intan, sorry.
Okay. So actually it's a whole new experience for me. I was studying in Indonesia in my undergrad and then settled there in Indonesia especially. So moving in here to four season country. I was in a two season country. It's a whole new experience for me in terms of the season, in terms of the culture, architectural building, food especially as the Indonesian. We love spicy food, and in here it's quite bland, I can say. But it doesn't take long for me to settle here because I really love Scotland. It's quite cold here, and as an Indonesian to look for some kind of like local food, Indonesian food is not that hard because we're kind of very Asian, like East Asian, South Asian. It's not that hard to find a food here, so it's very fantastic to move here, and I don't feel like kind of culture shock to be here from the very first time arrive in Glasgow. I feel so okay with everything. So yeah.
That's fantastic, Intan. Really good to hear. And I'm glad everyone's had a really nice, positive experience of coming and settling here in Glasgow. So obviously, when you're coming to settle somewhere, it's kind of about the support you get around when you come. So did you really feel supported by the university, especially when you arrived in Glasgow? Rohit, I'll come to you for this question, if that's okay.
Uh, Personally, I would say that they were up for help like right after I got my offer. So we had an offer holder session where people from university came to guide us. And after arrival, like be it our BRP collection, be it issuing the ID card, GP registration, everything was so smooth, all thanks to the university. And again, like they held like a week of freshers for us, where they got everything covered, which would like help any international student to settle down very easily. And like I would only like to suggest people out there that if they face any sort of problem, so they can straight away go to the university, and the university, like, they've got your back. That's it.
Yeah, fantastic. I think that's one of the main things, trying to join as many kind of sessions in advance as you're thinking of coming to the university to get that information and help around you. And yeah, as you said, Rohit, just reach out to the university as well if there's anything that you're unsure of, because we're always happy to try and help as best we can to help students have the best time when they arrive at the university. So obviously today there are separate accommodation sessions taking place during the event that we've got running today. But it'd be really interesting to get the student perspective. So what you guys think, to find out your own experiences in securing accommodation when you're studying at the university. So can you tell us a little bit about whether you're living in private accommodation or student halls and what your experience has been around that? Intan, I'll come to you first for this one.
Okay, so actually, I'm staying in private accommodation right now. At first, I thought I'm gonna be staying like in student accommodation, which cost me a bit fortune. But I mean, like in Glasgow, especially, the Indonesian community is quite big and quite popular, I can say. And I mean, like it's been around for about like maybe like 10 or 12 years. So I mean, like my connection to my seniors, Indonesian people who lives here, Indonesian students who lives here, I mean, like it's not that hard to find them, and then they are helping me so much, especially finding the accommodation, especially private accommodation. I mean, like they connect me to the landlord in here, and maybe I can say that we have like, as Indonesian, we have very good reputation in here in Glasgow. The landlord said that we're very kind and then we're very clean, something like that. So there are a lot of landlords actually entrusting their tenants to entrust the place again to Indonesian as well after they graduate. So I mean, like it's not that hard for me to find the private accommodation, which cost me a lot cheaper, close to the university, I can say. So I mean, like the experience of finding securing accommodation is not that hard. Now I'm staying in a private flat, which consists of 4 Indonesian in here, and not so far from university, so it's pretty good.
Oh, that's fantastic, Intan, and nice to hear about that community that you have around you here from Indonesia.
Yeah.
So, Melody, I'll come to you next if that's okay. Are you in private accommodation or student halls? What's your experience of accommodation?
Okay, so I'd say that when I started looking for accommodation, which you should start doing very early, you should start searching through the ones that you prefer, what you'd like on suit, just familiarize yourself with what you're looking for earlier on. As soon as you get your congratulations, I think you should start finding a place to stay. So for me, I did that, but I was also looking out for certain things. So I'm currently staying in a private accommodation for students. So only students are allowed to stay here, and it's not far from school at all. The university accommodations are great. I'm literally staying close to where all of them are, so it's not far at all. So I still get to meet my mates and have conversation and visit one another. But I'm just staying in a private one, and I chose it because of the convenience. It's close to uni as well, like I said, and I'm also able to have my own space. So I think that's one thing that was a priority for me. I'm like, okay, I can make my Nigerian meals in my kitchen and not have to worry about anything else. And yeah, I just wanted that private space. But I've been to the student accommodations many times to visit friends, and it's great as well. It's also wonderful. So yeah, that's my experience currently in a private flat.
Perfect. Thank you, Melody. I think that's it. It's about kind of your personal kind of preferences and things like that, and being able to make those decisions as you're coming to the university. So, Rohit, I'll come to you next. What's your experience of accommodation at Glasgow been like?
So, like my personal preference was the university accommodation. So I started applying early, and I fortunately got a room at Macley's residence, which is a university accommodation and quite close to the university as well. Just 20 minutes walk from the university. And the best thing about university accommodations is that you get to meet a lot of people from diverse cultures. You get to learn a lot about them, and yeah, I have a lot of friends over here, and it's like a family away from family. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. One of the main things is coming across as an international student, obviously, kind of choosing a place that's going to suit you of where you're going to live. Obviously, from all these experiences, you can see that you can either stay in student accommodation provided by the university, or there are a lot of private accommodation options available. So, as Melody kind of talked about earlier, is kind of doing it as early as possible to see what your options are in terms of our own student accommodation. As soon as you kind of have that conditional or unconditional offer that you've accepted as your firm choice, you can immediately kind of like look at applying for accommodation at that stage. So being nice and early in it is always just, it's a way to make it a little bit less stress free for you as you're coming somewhere new as well. So on that, Melody, when you were chatting about accommodation, you mentioned obviously when you visited your friends in the student accommodation at the University of Glasgow. So that leads me on nicely to this question, Melody. How have you found it making friends in Glasgow?
Well, I'd say it's been amazing. So there's this saying that I heard before I got to Glasgow, which is people make Glasgow. And that's so true. It's extremely true. It's very, very true. So I've had a wonderful experience making friends, just mixing with different people. Glasgow has a population of various races, various cultures. And, you definitely find your own people, but you also find people that you get to meet and interact with that might not be from where you're from, but they're also lovely, they're also amazing. So I would say it's been lovely. It's just about you being open-minded. Glaswegians are one of the nicest people I know. They'll definitely hand you like sweets and biscuits if you just cough. So I think it's wonderful. I think they're amazing. I think it's just about being open-minded, being yourself, and you'll make friends. It's been a lovely experience. It's wonderful.
That's so lovely to hear, Melody. And yeah, as you said, Glaswegians are a special people who are really friendly and open and warm. So I'm really glad that you've had that experience as well when you come to us. So for on to the kind of next question, I suppose, for lots of people kind of tuning in today who might have never studied masters before. Intan, would you be able to tell us kind of how many hours of teaching you have roughly a week?
Okay, maybe I can do like a bit comparison between semester one and this semester. So actually, semester one is a lot longer. It takes like 8 hours a week. There will be like compulsory courses. They will provide like 2 hours for the lecture and then 1 hour for the seminar, and then it will be like 8 hours. But in this semester, actually, it's just 6 hours. Every class consists of only 1 hour. But this semester is a lot busier than it was in the previous semester, because in the previous semester we just focus on the class, on the courses, and then maximizing our capability in like in the seminar and everything, comprehend every lectures and the readings that we have. But in this semester, as I'm a journalist, I'm studying right now in a journalism program. So there are a lot of things, like, for instance, like a project that we should execute in this semester. And we already encouraged to persuade our supervisors in order for our practical journalism project. This is what very amazing about University of Glasgow, I can say, because in this university, I can choose either dissertation or practical journalism project. And I choose a practical journalism project. It will enhance my capability, professional skill in producing news. So, because of that, all of those projects that we should execute this semester, even it's just 6 hours, but there are a lot of things should be doing. So yeah, that's the answer.
Perfect. Thank you, Intan. It sounds like you've got a lot of kind of workload to kind of juggle, and that's kind of part of a skill of becoming a
Yeah,
student and doing your masters as well, is managing those kind of workloads and how you personally go about it. So thank you very much. That was a good answer and good insight into kind of how the semesters look and how they might change at the university as well.
yeah,
So as well as obviously speaking a bit about juggling your time and kind of managing your workload, um, part-time work is obviously can be a top question for people wanting to study a master's at the university. So Rohit, I'll come to you for this question. How feasible is it to work part-time during your master's? And would you be able to tell us a little bit about your own experiences of working during studies?
So I would only suggest to do part time only if your course allows, because I think academics should be the priority. And the next thing is like it's going quite balanced for me because I don't do my full 20 hours. It's just 8 for me. And like hunting for part time or be it full time, be it internships is made very easy by the university. We have a portal which is the student job hub. So like it was very useful for me, and I bagged a couple of offers from it. So currently I work as a front house staff in a restaurant, and wherein like every week I get to meet new people, I get to know them better. And yeah, for the time being it is going well, until unless it is balanced. So yeah, it's going well for me.
Great, I'm glad to hear that, Rohit. Yeah, definitely. It's a way to meet new people as well, having kind of a part-time job. Obviously, you mentioned there, you obviously didn't use your full 20 hours because on a student visa, you would be able to work up to 20 hours per week. But yeah, it doesn't have to be that full time, and you can kind of assess once you're here of how much time you have and how you're going to balance that with your academics. But it's good to have that option available to you as well as a master's student. So I suppose one of the things about the university is we do offer scholarships here at the university. So Intan, did you receive a scholarship, and would you mind talking us through the process of how you secured that scholarship for you personally as well?
okay. Thank you for the question. So actually, at first, I got the offer about the scholarship offered by university, 10,000 free from the tuition fee. But and then actually in Indonesia, we have this very prestigious university we call. Scholarship, very, very prestigious scholarship. We call it Indonesia Endowment Scholarship. Every year, the applicants will be like 60,000 something, but they only receive like for around 3,000 for each year. So like it's a very, very tough selection process. And because I really, really want to study here and focus on my study, obviously, so I applied for the scholarship. And then how the way for me to so lucky to be able to have the scholarship and then continuing my study with scholarship is I'm focusing myself on the reference and then the essays. I should know what I want to do in the future. I should know what I want to reach, the target I want to reach, what I really want to study in my university during my study, obviously. So I'm focusing my essays, and then after I passed that selections, passed that administration process, and then I went to the interview process. In the interview, since I realized that there are a lot of things that I should be considered and prepared in order to be ready for any questions from the interviewee, the things that I prepared is that I did mock-up interview with all the seniors that already selected for the scholarship in the previous years. So I did like 3 mock-up interviews, something like that, to to prepare myself with all the questions, because I believe that interview in working in the company, interview for the maybe position in the organization, and interview in scholarship are totally different way. Totally different selection process and criteria that they are looking for. So that's why I'm preparing myself for the mock-up interview, and then I made it. And then because University of Glasgow provides the service in order for us to ask a lot of things, and they help us willingly about all the the problems we encounter during our application process, and then how the way for us to manage it. University provides a service, and then the scholarship also helps us to tackle all those issues. So it takes me for about like 3 months from when I was like accepted for the scholarship and then went to the university. So it was like, I mean, like very smooth process just within 3 months, and I made it very well, I think, because I mean, like all the systems are really supported.
Yeah, absolutely. And it sounds like you did a brilliant job, Intan, of getting all of that kind
I'm
of
lucky. I said
organized.
that I was lucky to get the scholarship, and I mean, like I could be able to do a lot of things because I mean, like because we should be well prepared for
Yeah,
something that we want to do. I mean, like be well prepared is something that makes you a lot professional, and I mean, like you're so keen of achieving something. That's why I mean, like that's how I'm preparing myself for any stages that I'm looking for.
yeah, that's fantastic. And I suppose as well for anyone, it's going across the kind of the bottom of the screen at the moment. For anyone who's kind of looking at the university to do a master's programme, we do have a scholarship database available on our website. And this is where you can have a look through all of the scholarships that we have available. You can click on each one and check eligibility and things like that, and the amounts that you might get off. So that's the best place to kind of look as an initial step if you are considering a scholarship at the university, just to see what's available. So a little bit more about the university itself. Like obviously, University of Glasgow, based in the city of Glasgow, and we are a campus university. So Melody, what is the main campus like? Where are the best places to hang out? I'm not a student at the moment, so you would definitely be the better person to tell me where to hang out.
Okay, so I've got a number of places that I do love and that I've been to. The first I'd say is my school building. Yeah, it kind of sounds weird, but my school building is fun. So I'm doing a master's of public health, and that means that I am part of the School of Health and Wellbeing. So my school, the School of Health and Wellbeing, is called the Clarice Pierce Building, and it is so beautiful. It's dog friendly, pet friendly. You can bring your dogs. I think I fell in love with dogs when I came to Glasgow. I fell more and more in love with pets when I came here. And we have that. It's a lovely space. You can sit down, relax. Some areas are for teaching, while some areas are just for students to chill, just for students to have lunch, interact, and things like that. We also have the postgraduate cafe. So the Gilchrist Postgraduate Cafe is situated in the main building of University of Glasgow, and it's a lovely space. It's a wee space where you can just sit down, have coffee, take tea, meet people, interact with different people who are doing their postgrad as well. There's also the botanical gardens. It's so beautiful. It's a landmark for anyone that wants to come to University of Glasgow. Take out the time to just explore the botanical gardens and other areas around. There's the Kelvin Grove Museum, there's the Hunterian Museum within the University of Glasgow. There's so many places. And for me, closest to me where I stay is the Kelvin Grove Park. There's so many beautiful things to see about that park. It's lovely. The rivers, the streams, the beautiful free birds. It's an amazing experience. So these are some of my favorite places, in addition to like restaurants and the various cuisines that we have in University of Glasgow around the campus. You can literally find anything you're looking for. So if you're an art person, the museums are there. If you're someone that just wants to relax and meet friends, the postgraduate Gilchrist Club is there. You just hang out and meet people. So these are one few favorite places that I like to go to.
Thanks, Melody. Dog friendly. You don't need to say any more. That's
I'm
yeah.
so agree with what Melody said. Actually, I mean,
Yeah.
like I was in many places where it's like student area, like student accommodation close to the campus, and it's kind of very suffocated. Not so. I mean, like healthy environment, I can say, because but in here in Glasgow, especially University of Glasgow, around that area is very student friendly. It's very. I mean, like the park, Calvin Grove Park, is the very best place to hang out. I mean,
Mhm.
like it makes you feel like okay, every place is beautiful. Why don't you just hang out to anywhere? You don't have to worry. Should I go there or go there? Every place is beautiful, I can say.
That's a glowing review of Glasgow.
Yeah.
I love delighted to hear it, and I feel the same about it. I think that's one of the main things about we're a campus university, but as you mentioned, obviously Melody was talking about the Botanic Gardens, straight into kind of restaurants and places to go. So you have the campus and the kind of community around the campus, but the community spreads wider into kind of the rest of Glasgow, as students experience everything that it has to offer. So yeah, it's a really kind of nice, nicely situated campus for experiencing the wider city as well. Kind of on, I know that we kind of touched upon kind of clubs and societies in terms of places that you might hang out around the campus. So what postgraduate clubs and societies can you join, and which ones would you recommend as well? Rohit, I'll come to you first for this one.
So, it sounds great that University of Glasgow itself has like 300 plus clubs and societies, which is like a huge number. You can find a place in like any of the one you like. And talking about me, I'm from a computer science background, so there are a few clubs and societies. So the one I have joined is GU Tech Society, and the other one is GDSC, wherein we get to meet new people which have like similar mindset and similar background, and you can make new friends. I have got a lot of new friends from these societies, and
Brilliant. I think Rohit might have just frozen on my screen at the moment. So Intan, I'll come to you for your recommendations, and then we'll see if Rohit can join back.
Okay, so actually, our focus to study here is our study, right? So our study is our priority, but there are a lot of things, especially our hobby, that we should consider to execute, to express, I can say. So actually, that's what Best by University of Glasgow. University really, really provides a lot of opportunities, a lot of clubs that are gonna support your hobby. For those who really like K-pop, there is like organization, this clubs, K-pop clubs, and then for those who were like dancing, there is this like dancing club, something like that. But because I was working as a journalist in a journalism industry, I was working as a journalist. So because of that, I really like writing, and I joined this club. We call it the Tap, and in this club actually there are a lot of works that is more student based, so we're writing for fun. I mean, like, no pressure in any clubs that you are joining, because I mean, like, that was best by University of Glasgow. I was joining clubs when I was in undergrad, and there are a lot of like targets, pressure that should be executed, I can say. But in here, when I mean, like, I'm joining the clubs right now. I mean, like, no pressure at all. Whenever I want to do something, just doing it. If I'm not available, then you don't have to do it. Just doing it for fun. You can express your hobby at the same time. You're still like polishing your skill in order to do something. So I mean, like, university with tons of clubs, really, really supporting your needs, supporting your hobby in order for you to do a lot of things in here.
Yeah, I think that's right, Intan. It's like somewhere where you can continue with the hobbies that you already have, but having, as Rohit had kind of said, that there's over 300 clubs and societies to join. So if you want to try something new as well, there should be something available in those 300 clubs and societies for you. And a really good way of making friends as well, because obviously you're going to make friends surrounding your studies and obviously where you're living. But it's a great way, as Rohit had said as well, one of the clubs was to meet kind of like-minded people, of who kind of do similar things to you. So it's a really great way to kind of support your studies and enjoy your studies around that by doing kind of little extra things as well. Rohit, thank you for joining back. I think your Wi-Fi maybe dropped off a
yeah,
little bit there, but you were telling us some great things, obviously, about the Tech Society, and kind of how that kind of helped to support you throughout it. Was there anything else that you wanted to mention about clubs? No pressure. I don't know where you were maybe chatting as it got frozen, but anything else you might want to mention around clubs and societies?
it's just that we get similar mindset, which I already said, and yeah, I mean, I like personally see these societies. I mean, we get to meet like real industry people, and they give us insights about what the market actually demands, which is like really of great help, and which help us prepare in such a way that, yeah, we go good in the industry. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. It's kind of there's because of the amount of clubs there is really such a variety, and you can always just go and check out new clubs and see how you enjoy them as well as you arrive at the university. So, in terms of the wider city of Glasgow, I know we've probably touched on this in a lot of our answers anyway, but what is the city of Glasgow like for you guys? Is it a student friendly city? How have you found it? Melody, I'll come to you first for this question.
Well, I'd say it is a very student friendly environment. There's lots and lots of activities for you to do, for you to get engaged with. I would say that like you said, there's so many societies on campus, outside of campus. University of Glasgow itself is very, very student friendly. We have so many activities for you to participate in. One of the ways that we get to find out about the activities that are going on or off or around campus is through the Student Representative Council app. So the SRC makes it very easy for you to look at what's going on, participate, see what you can engage with. Aside from that, Glasgow is a place where you have the areas that are very quiet, but you also have the areas that are very fun. So if you stay around the city center, you know that there's always something to do. There's always a place for you to go and have fun, just karaoke, food, games, anything you can think about. We have it. We have it in Glasgow. So I would say that yes, it's very, very student friendly. You get to have a wholesome experience. You get to interact with people. You have access to various things. You have access to various opportunities as well. So taking advantage of whatever is around you, whatever is shared, all that the school puts out is very, very, very good. So I would say yes, it's very, very student friendly, and you'll find something for you to do, something that meets your own desires and what you're looking to have.
Yeah, thank you, Melody. Karaoke, it sounds like you might have a karaoke song, a go to karaoke song.
I'm actually going to have karaoke this weekend for International Women's Day with some of my friends. So
Oh, that sounds
Ooh.
fantastic. There'll be
yeah,
some great female singers, ballads going
yeah.
on, I imagine, for International Women's Day. I love to hear it. And so, Rohit, I'll come to you. How have you found kind of what the city of Glasgow's like and how student friendly it is?
I guess Melody has got all covered, and yeah, like I have a similar experience that it's a very vibrant city. It has very rich culture, and yeah, it is like home to several universities and very diverse academic opportunities. And you have a lot of green spaces to hang around, student amenities, and yeah, the place is like very welcoming and very student friendly. Yeah, I agree on that completely. Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. Thank you, Rohit. And it was good that you touched upon those kind of green spaces that we have. We've got that nickname of Dear Green Place here in Glasgow, and I think it's especially important for students because obviously you'll be maybe staying in student accommodation or your private accommodation, so you have access to some beautiful parks and gardens throughout the city on all of those sunny days that Glasgow has as well. So that's fantastic to hear. So obviously that's Glasgow, but Glasgow's obviously part of Scotland, the country of Scotland. So what about the rest of it? What about the rest of Scotland? Have you travelled and explored much throughout the rest of the country since you've arrived in Glasgow? Intan, have you managed to travel much throughout Scotland?
Because this is my first time coming to Scotland, especially Glasgow. So I mean, like I was told by my seniors, please come in advance so you can travel first before you can proceed to your studies. So that's what I did. I mean, like my studies start maybe like around 11 or 12. No, actually, like a week after that. But before I arrived, like in 4th and 5th of September, and then my senior said that please travel before you start your study. But don't worry, in your study within a weekend, you can like travel back and forth to some places in Scotland because Scotland is so beautiful. That's what they said. And then I was following what they, I mean, like what they offered me to. And then I traveled to so many places, I can say, because of their recommendation. I mean, like they said that if you love hiking, please go to so many places. There are a lot of sites that it is good for hiking. And then they said that if you want to see a very, very beautiful place, you can go to the Highland, and don't just go to Edinburgh because there are a lot of beautiful places. Go to Aberdeen and something like that. And I was like, okay, I just go, and it was very fantastic. So yeah, if you ask me, have you traveled around Glasgow? I'll say that maybe I've been to many parts, like almost all part of Glasgow. But in Scotland, Isle of Skye, I'll be there soon. Maybe like other places, I'll be there as well, because my senior said that don't waste your time only for not lying around in your room. Please go somewhere. It's okay for you to spend a bit money. I mean, like maybe like a huge amount of money, but you will have the experience to see the world through in Scotland, because Scotland is so rich with the culture, with the nature, and especially with the architectural building. Very, very classical.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Scotland as well, because we're quite a small country, it is easy to get around and experience the whole country
Yeah.
whilst you're here. And it's a great opportunity when you're coming to study a master's with us to kind of maybe use your weekends. Some of those weekends, some of them you can spend lying around in town. That's absolutely fine as well. You'll be tired
Yeah.
from your studies, but also getting out and experiencing the rest of Scotland. We've got kind of a great kind of bus and train network for
Yeah.
students for to make it kind of easy to get around and experience other places
Yeah,
out
I
with
agree with that.
the
I agree with that. It is very affordable, I'll say, in terms of the price. I mean, like compared to England, maybe. I mean, like it is a bit cheaper compared to England, I can say. And then to go to one place to another is not that hard. The system is very, very systemized. And then, I mean, like I got no problem like get lost in somewhere. I never, I mean, like having that kind of difficulties. And
Mhm.
if we're talking about Scotland, even it's like small country, every side is beautiful. So I mean, like I never feel really, really bored to go somewhere. I mean, like even my lecture really really suggesting us to travel on weekend. Our
Mhm.
lectures, I mean, like don't just stay in your room, please go somewhere on weekend, explore Scotland. Scotland is very beautiful, that's what they said, and very diverse in terms of cultures.
Yeah, yeah, and it's fantastic to hear like your lectures encouraging you to do that as well, because they know
Yeah.
that it's a great thing if you're coming to a new place and kind of experiencing obviously the city that you're going to be in, but also the wider country as well, and what's on
Yeah.
offer there, especially with that, as you said, beautiful countryside in
Mm,
Tan. So yeah, it's fantastic. It's a good country for students to be able to come and do that and explore a little bit more out with just the city that they're in.
mm,
So obviously you did mention the cost of living a little bit there in Tan. So I think that's a good question to ask because obviously for students that
mm,
is an important topic. So it can be a stressful time for students at the moment when they are considering where to go and kind of that cost of living crisis that has been affecting everyone. So I'm going to come to you, Rohit. And if you have any money saving tips at all for new students, is there anything that you're doing that's working well in terms of helping you with any cost of living?
Yeah, I mean, it's like very important to like save your money and keep a track of what's going on. So yeah, I mean, I would suggest, I mean, what I also personally do is like I try to cook at home like as much as possible, and like going out, I like hardly step out, only just to save some bucks. And the other thing is I use like different apps like Unidays, Student Beans, and the moment you get into these apps, you get a lot of student discounts. And the most powerful thing you have is your student ID. So like most of the shops over here, you just go and show them that yeah, you're a student and you have your student ID. So yeah, they'll probably give you some discount on it. And the next thing I'll suggest is like go for cost free entertainment sort of things. Like you have a lot of free museums to get in, and there are like a lot of parks as well, like Kelvin Groove Park, and like it's worth visiting. And the next thing could be like the moment you settle down, you should like track your budget. You should plan your budget accordingly. That yeah, I'm going to spend this much amount in this month, and I'm not going to exceed over it. So yeah, that will really help again. And additionally, I would also suggest that if your course allows, just go for part time, because you know it's good to have some money coming in your bank accounts. So, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's perfect, Rohit. I like that you said that the your student ID is kind of your main thing. You don't want to lose that because yeah, you do get so many student discount options throughout the city, the wider city, having that student card. I miss not having my own anymore. I don't have those discounts like you guys do now. But we do have also, if you are kind of after this session thinking about ways that you could kind of help tackle any cost of living issues that you might face, we do have a variety of student vlogs as well about saving money and other tips on cost of living as well on our website. So definitely check those out as you're considering studying with us. So with that, obviously you're talking about top tips in terms of saving money, but what are your top tips for students joining us next year? Quite hard one sometimes to get it into a short answer, Melody, but I'll come to you first to see what top tips you might have for students.
Okay, so I say my top three tips would be, the first would be for you to make use of all the information available to you. So I know that sometimes it can be a bit, voluminous, looking through so much fine print or reading so much information. But, attending events like this to give you the information that you need. So make use of all the information you can, like gather everything you can get before you get here. Find out all the things you need to know, what you need to do, and that would be the first thing. I think the second thing would be, and also while you're here as well, information is very important. If you don't have information, you might not get access to a lot of things. So it's important to keep your ears to the ground and always just be keen on gaining knowledge. And I think another thing would be just be very open to learn. A top tip is be very open to learn. You're coming to learn anyway in a formal environment, but you can learn informal things. You can learn cultures, greetings. You can learn some of the Scottish words. You can learn anything. So be very, very open to learn. There's so much you can learn. And I think the last thing would be just be yourself, be open minded. Just be happy and be open minded. Don't overthink it. Just come with the best that you can be and just put that to your application, your schoolwork, your interactions with people. Just be very open minded and just choose to be yourself. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's lovely to hear, Melody, and definitely nice to hear kind of just come and be yourself here at the university. It's a great place for everyone to join together and look after each other when they're here as well. Rohit, I'll come to you next as well for any top tips that you might have for students joining us next year.
Top tips from my side would be like, yeah, if you have time right now, just run through your course once because the academics are quite paced up. And the next would be like you can spend time as much as you can, like with your closed ones. Let the emotions sink in, and like this place is going to welcome you with open arms. Yeah, that's it from my side.
Thanks, Rohit, and that's nice to hear as well. Obviously, spend some family time, and then you'll come and enjoy yourself for a year and experience some new friends and new faces when you're here. But yeah, it's important to get that time in with your family just before you come over. So, Intan, I'll come to you for your top tips. Anything that you would suggest for students next year?
Okay, as Indonesian, as in Southeast Asian, I can say, I mean, like I've heard about this like so many times. They're having kind of panic when they decide to go overseas for about like a year or maybe more than that. What I'm suggesting is that stop being panic. Glasgow, in like UK, especially Glasgow, is a very big city. You don't have to be like bringing all the foods from Indonesia or maybe from Malaysia or from like a Southeast. I'm talking about Southeast Asian. I mean, like they're so afraid that it's gonna be hard for them to cope with all the foods here. They're gonna be hard for them to like adapt with the season. So they're bringing like clothes that might be actually like they have to buy some kind of extra baggage for it because they're afraid that they cannot have it once they're in Scotland already. Please guys, I mean, like, expand your research. So actually in Glasgow you have everything. It's like when you bring your body here and then your energy and then your readiness to be here, and then you will find a lot of things here. Like for instance me, I brought a lot of Indonesian food, which actually I don't have to. I can find it in here. There are a lot of Asian stores here. Even like if we're talking about Indonesia, there are a lot of Indonesian people who open a restaurant. I mean, like just like informal restaurant, like seasonal restaurant. They open it up, and then they provide like Indonesian food. Which actually, if you cook, it won't be a problem for you because there are a lot. I mean, like all the ingredients you need, you will find it in here. So I mean, like don't be panic, don't be shocked when you decided to move overseas, because everything you need you will find it in here. Because when I'm going here, because I'm focusing on the food, I mean, like I bought extra baggage, which actually it doesn't really necessary. Once I hear, I was like, I can find like almost everything I need in here. So just expand your knowledge, expand your information, especially don't have to be like very very panic for it. That's all I can say.
Yeah, absolutely, Intan. That's funny to hear as well, because absolutely you want your home comforts when you come somewhere new. So you wanted to make sure that you
Yeah.
had all of that there. But I'm
Yeah.
glad you're able to find, if you're fancying any kind of home comfort food, that you're
Yeah.
able to find that in the supermarkets that we have here, like the Asian supermarkets. So yeah, I know it can be, you can have that kind of feeling of panic of, I need absolutely everything when I'm moving somewhere new, because it's a big step for people, and I suppose that kind of, if you don't have that extra baggage, this is a good way to move it on to you, Melody. If you just have that kind of one suitcase, what kind of three main things would you suggest
Hmm.
that people pack in that suitcase?
Main things. I would say the first thing would be pack all necessary documents, every single thing that you believe is very relevant, your visa, your passport, every single thing that is necessary, your previous degree, all the forms you needed to fill. Pack every single necessary document because you don't know when you would need it. And of course, you need your passport to do anything, most things here. So always pack all your necessary documents. That should be your first priority. All the documents that you need, that should be the first thing that you pack. Following that, I'd say, I mean, I've been to some of these PG events just like you are in now, and I know that they say, or some people told me, oh, there's no need to pack an umbrella or a raincoat because it rains almost all the time in Glasgow, and you might not need it because you'll just be walking in the rain. It's not too heavy, so, but I would still say pack a raincoat or an umbrella. You can still find that here, but yeah, if you can, we can get a good raincoat or an umbrella. And I think the last thing would be some sentimental things from back home. So it could be maybe cards, it could be postcards, it could be pictures of family, it could be maybe some of your favorite snacks or things like that. Just some sentimental things just to remind you of home from time to time. But yeah, you wouldn't, I don't think you'll be so homesick because like I said, Glaswegians, they become your home. They're very sweet. So yeah, those are the main things I'd say you should pack.
Yeah, they're brilliant ones, Melody, for sure. And yeah, it's always good to have something from home when you're traveling abroad and you're living abroad, even when you're enjoying yourself and having a great time in the city. It's always nice to have something from home there as well. Yeah, I would definitely say the rain jacket might be one. We won't pretend it doesn't rain in Glasgow. It does rain, but
Yeah.
it's all about the overall atmosphere of the city. And I like rain,
Actually,
actually.
I developed new habits since I got here. I always bought, I mean, like brought this kind of umbrella and then tumbler everywhere I go. I mean, like, I never did that before in Indonesia, but now I'm doing it in here. So, I mean, like, it's very important for you to bring your umbrella like everywhere.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would say you just never know. It's nice and changeable. And then
Yeah.
when those sunny days come in across summer, then you can get out in the parks and gardens and get
Yeah.
it's coming. It's coming. We're in March now. We can see the spring coming in now
Yes.
with the lighter
Wow.
nights, which is
Soon.
lovely to see. So I suppose one of my last kind of questions for you all, like it's been a brilliant session so far and a lot of information for everyone watching. Um, what what would you say is the best thing, like the best part of being a student at the University of Glasgow? Intan, I'll come to you first for this one.
Okay, so I mean, like maybe because I did my undergrad in Indonesia, I had experience doing exchange program in Lithuania, but I find something in here that I didn't find it way before when I was doing exchange program and when I was doing undergrad in Indonesia. That is the connection. Like there's no gap between you and the lecturers. They're so friendly. They're so supportive in anything you do. And first name basis is kind of. I mean, like because I'm Indonesian, I'm Asian. We're kind of very very respecting our professors, our lecturers. We'll calling them by ma'am, something like that, or maybe like we'll call their last name is to respect them. But in here, it's like first name basis, so we call them by name, and then they're really supportive in order to do anything. Like for instance, when I want to do something, and then I ask their advice, and then they're like, "Come into my room, and I'll help you with anything." So I was like, that's the best thing about I mean like University of Glasgow, the lecturer and the student. It feels like there's no gap between both of us, and the university is really supportive in doing a lot of things. I mean like when I want to do a lot of things, the university really supportive, not just the lecturers but also the staff. And because it's Glasgow compared to other cities. I mean like I'm comparing other cities that I've been to before. Glasgow is very friendly. I mean like the people is really friendly, and I mean like the people's really friendly, and then the environment is really supporting. I mean like I developed new hobbies here. I'm not a jogger. I wasn't a jogger, but I am like a jogger addict right now. And then I really like a sport addict. Maybe I can say like sport addict because I developed new hobbies based on like the experience I have here, the environment and everything. I mean, like if we're talking about what best by University of Glasgow, we can talk about what is the best about Glasgow in general because there are a lot of best things that I mean, like the Glasgow offers, University of Glasgow offers as well to the student. So yeah, that's the best thing about it. So I mean, like you will feel more supporting by your studying here.
Perfect, thank you, Intan. And I love that kind of line of what's not best about about Glasgow. It really speaks volumes about what a great time you're having here, which is fantastic to hear. Rohit, I'll come to you. What is the best part of being a student at the University of Glasgow for you?
Uh, I mean, I'll just say it in one line. The best part of being a student at University of Glasgow is actually being a student at University of Glasgow. I mean, you get to interact with a lot of experts of the field, especially like in my course. I mean, they are very very knowledgeable and whatnot. I mean, they help us a lot, and like they like just take out some personal time from their schedule, and they are like ready to help us. And then like we have a beautiful campus. Then like the campus is like filled with like diverse cultures. There is endless opportunities, welcoming people. It's like never ending list for this one.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rohit. Another great line as well, never ending list. I love all of these kind of what your best part of it is. So good to hear the student perspective of it. So, Melody, what is your best part of being a student at the university?
I mean, I feel we've all said it all. I think it's the entirety of being here. It's the people, it's the environment, it's the opportunities. I don't think you can underestimate these three. The people are amazing. The environment is so beautiful. It feels surreal sometimes. You just walk and there's so much greenery, so much to soak in. So I think that's wonderful as well. And I'll definitely say the opportunities that University of Glasgow offers you. Once you come to this university, you have access to meeting exceptional people. You have access to the biggest of names, to technology, to so much, so much, to learning so many courses that the university pays for, and just so many things that you can, take advantage of. I think that's one thing that is also so very, important. So I'd say these three things. I love the people, I love the environment, and I love the opportunities that I get. So yeah.
Thank you, Melody. That's such a nicely structured answer as well. And I think having this session today and speaking to you all. Like, thank you all for coming on and answering all of my questions. Um, it was just really good to hear about how you're finding studying at the university and the kinds of things that you've done. Of course, not just with your studies, you're studying your programs that you wish to study, but those kind of extras and how you found the city itself and the overall environment that you would get at the university. So it's really been wonderful to hear about that. So with that, I will say thank you again for joining me, and thank you everyone who is watching this live and who has been asking questions throughout the session. It's been really informative for me, and it's been great to hear about all of your individual experiences as international students here at the university. So yeah, with that, thank you to everyone. I hope everyone has a lovely day and enjoys the rest of the sessions that we have going on. I will also say, if you were maybe watching this and you think of questions down the line, we do have an Ask a Student feature on our website as well. So we've got a team of amazing students who are ready to ask any questions as you're going forward with the process, anything at all. There's students happy to help with that as well. So thank you everyone, and goodbye for now.
Bye.
Bye.